Sound like this is because I have masked up, and yes, the mask mandate has been lifted in New York, but I don't know, I'm not ready yet. Eventually I will be ready. I know I will very soon, but I want to see numbers really start coming down before this thing is coming off, and until then, this stays. What is the purpose of this trip, you ask? So, purpose of this trip is I want to show you that you don't have to spend tons of money to goth out. Gothing out on a budget is possible. I see people spending tons and tons of money on name brand stuff from Kiltstar, Punk Rave, Dolls Kill, you name it, and it's not necessary. It's really not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a few pieces from there, but don't feel like it's a necessity, like you have to do it. Those are the colors of the day, yellow and red with a white stripe. What does that mean? Any tag you see with that color, this is green, obviously not this one, but any tag you see with that color, okay, so example, this is gonna be half price. The goal will be finding everything in that color, but that's not the way life works out. Basically, everything I always pick out that I like is never in that color. Sometimes I do luck out. Is this a maxi skirt? Here we go. Shut up, John Mayer. This is an interesting, fun little mesh neoprene number that I came across that was really cute. It's just a bunch of everything. It's neoprene, it's mesh, it's high-low. It was a really cool fabric, but the thing about this one is it's a 2X. It is not destined for me, it is not destined for my closet or my body, but the point is that these things are out there and they're waiting for you. Just have the time, have the patience, and dig and look, and you can find it. So, this thrift store in particular can be a little bit on the overwhelming side because there's a lot of stuff, a lot of racks, and they're tightly packed mostly, and they're constantly just replenishing them. So you really need to have the patience to look through, but if you do, you can really come across some really great pieces and save a lot of money. I thought that said ass wish. Oh my god, I love your dress. Who makes it? Ass wish. Let's see. It's definitely not summer. Okay. Velvet mini button down. Kind of an empire waist going on, but yeah, 90s vibe coming with me. Half off. Probably going to be the most expensive thing I grab. So what's the goal here? What are we really trying to achieve? Well, functional pieces to have in your wardrobe that you can mix and match with other stuff. And that's good. Ah, it's in my hair. It's on my hair. The hanger's on my hair. Well, father mucker. I'm getting a cart. I just want to point out that this store is not a charity or a not-for-profit. They get all of their stock for free. It's all via donation, usually people clearing out their closets, so all of their stock is completely free. The only overhead they have is basically just what they pay to keep the lights on and keep the building intact. Everything else is pure profit. If you're donating to one of these places, please take the tags off, because if you leave them on, this is what they're going to charge. Thrift store prices. $70? Come on now. These 80s? I think these are 80s boots. Look at these. These are 80s boots. Ah, shit, fuck, nope, don't fall. I'm gonna die. Here, it's happening. I'm gonna call this one a win. It was a pretty successful trip at the thrift store, and I ended up getting 11 pieces in total, and I spent $88.30, which is a pretty big bargain, so I'm excited there. So I'll see you at home. I got my haul, so we're gonna go through it and have a look at what I picked up. So we have, is it a shawl? Is it a bolero? Is it a shrug? Not 100%, but it has shawl-like qualities. When I picked it up, I immediately thought Stevie Nicks. Ooh, it smells good. There's a little bit of shedding, which you would naturally expect from a thrift store. It's not going to be perfect all of the time, so it's just going to get a little bit of a trim. No big deal, but I really liked this. It has the lace and kind of 3/4 length sleeves. A little bit more than that. So it has kind of one of those kimono qualities. You know, they call it kimonos on websites, but it's not really a kimono, but it has that kind of sleeve that doesn't have much shape to it. And I guess they would refer to this as a cropped kimono, but I don't know. What would you call it? So I have a little bit of an issue with velvet. Velvet presents itself to me. Velvet needs to come home with me, and velvet knows that. So when I went to the thrift store, I had kind of an idea in mind. I wanted to get a lot of summer things, and I ended up getting bombarded with tons of velvet, and it kind of threw my plans in the crapper. However, since that was back in July, and now we're kind of getting into September, it's now relevant. So now it is a fall haul, and we can do velvet. So this I really liked. It was a baby doll. Well, it still is. It was then and it is today, so I don't know why I said was. Rest in peace, dear dress. So it is I think it's an empire waist, yeah. It has a bit of an empire waist. It's buttoned down. Long sleeve, has cuffs, and it's a really thick velvet. Can you hear that? Thick. No stretch to it whatsoever. It's a size large. So what I did was I ordered these clips that we used to get in the 90s. So we used to get these clips that would kind of go in the back of dresses, and for the time it was more decorative than it was functional, but the function that it serves is kind of ingenious, and you can get them decoratively now, like as opposed to, it was they were made of, they look like a scrunchie with little suspender clips on the side, and you would clip it in the back of your dress, and it would take it and it would cinch it in. So if you had something that was a little bit loose, you just cinch it in, and then it gave you a kind of A-line look, and it made it look less baggy. And I picked up a couple of those from Amazon. I'll put the links in the description, because this is 2 sizes too large for me, and I didn't want to swim in it. But I still think it's really cute. I'm probably going to wear this a lot in the fall, so, or autumn, whichever you like to call it. So this one I took the tags off, but it had the tags still attached. It's by Misguided, and it's a baby doll dress. I thought this was really cute, and what I like about it, if you're a busty gal, you will appreciate the ruching. Any kind of ruching in the boobs is really, really useful, because if you have a dress that has like the cup sort of built in and it just has one dart, it'll ride up, and it gives you like that double boob thing going on, and it rides up, it goes here, it goes there, and it makes the chest look ridiculous. So fortunately, this should hold the girls quite well. Does it have a price on it? Doesn't have a price. This was half off, and it was $18.99, because it had, I'm pretty sure this was the color of the day, and it was half off. So $18.99. Half off. That was the velvet dress, and the shawl was $4.99. Next we have, okay, this top, I was really excited about this top because I'm pretty sure, I couldn't find any designer label in here, so I'm pretty sure this is an 80s top. It's cropped, has the netting on the shoulders as you can see here, and look at the back. What I loved about this top is that it reminded me of the movie Modern Girls, because the second I saw the back, it reminded me of the scene where Cece, one of the characters, she's getting ready to go out to a club that night, and she's trying on a million outfits. And there's this one shot where she's wearing these leggings, this big crazy belt, a hat, and this crop top. And she turns around to look in the mirror at what she's wearing, and the back of the top is exactly like this. It's a little crop top, and it has this crisscross in the back. And I'm like, Cece! And I immediately grabbed it and I put it in the cart. And I hope it looks good. I didn't try it on, but I just sort of like, for nostalgia, I needed to have it. So that's my Cece top. Sensing a theme with the velvet here. So here we have a romper. Bearing in mind I'm going to try this on for you, but it has kind of a deep V-neck. The whole thing is trimmed in lace, except for the sleeves, so not the whole thing. Wait, are the sleeves trimmed in lace? No, they're not. That's right. Okay, so I've never really looked good in shorts, but oddly enough, I look okay in a short skirt. But for some reason, shorts and I, we're not fond of one another. So I'm hoping this looks okay. If not, I will pass it on to you. Now we have another romper. I don't know what you would call this because they're pants, but it's a one piece. Would you call it a romper, a jumpsuit, a onesie? I have no idea. When I was growing up, we would have called this a jumpsuit. My Nana would probably call them dungarees, even though they're not made from denim. I always kind of assumed dungarees and denim were like the same thing when I was a kid. But what I really love about these types of onesies is that they're so freaking effortless. So it's a tank top at the top, cinched in at the waist, and the bottoms are baggy. What I like about this is it's very simplistic and it's very open to interpretation. So a lot of the creativity that went into our looks in the 90s when we were shopping at thrift stores all came from our individual preferences, right? So your accessories did the talking, and we would look at something and we wouldn't just look at it and see it for what it is. We would see it for what it could be. We'd kind of be looking at it and kind of turning it around, looking through it, and then you would see its potential. And whether you would DIY it, you would have something at home that you were going to pair with it, or just the accessories in general, that's what made it. That's what made you sort of stand out from everyone else. And it was a time where we didn't have those goth in the box stores. You know, you had like, are you trad? Are you new goth? Are you romantic? And everybody has like the same dress, or they'll all have the same boots or the same skirt. And it just gets samey, and it takes the creativity and the passion out of it. And that was the fun of it. The fun of it was going and trawling through everything, going through bins and shelves and all the racks, looking through for one piece that was gonna kick your ass, and you're like, yes, I have it. And I missed that. It was all about the thrill of the hunt. It was all about finding that one piece that you were so excited about. And because it was thrifted, you were pretty much the only person that had it. So you didn't have to worry about walking into a place and being like one of 30 people wearing the same thing. So, very versatile. By the way, if you hear squeaking, I have a very squeaky couch. It has springs in it. Oh, price. This cost $12.99, and I'm assuming it was one of the colors of the day. I don't remember the colors of the day. I have to look at the video. But since it's $12.99, it is probably the color of the day. I'm always wary of anything over $10 in a thrift store. I'm like, okay, why is it this much? Because you're buying things that are secondhand, worn, and it was probably sat in someone's closet for like 10 years. So why are you charging me more than $10 for this? So this is another staple piece that, once again, really versatile. It is a button-down sheer top. Long sleeve. Yeah, it has a button here so that if you wanted to, you could take it to 3/4 length, but I prefer things that are long. And there are so many different ways that you can wear this. You can just button it straight up, wear it with harness, you could wear it with a necklace, you could wear it with just a bra underneath, tank top underneath, or you can even tie it in the front and turn it into a little bolero. Okay, so this one I remember, yeah. So what I remember about this is that I remember looking on, I forget wherever sells the brand Widow. So Widow has a kind of bralette that looks like this, only it's velvet. The only difference is that it's velvet. However, the trim is pretty much identical. and there was a little cross that hung right here. I want to find a picture and do a side-by-side, but it was completely made from velvet, trimmed the same way, same shape, and it had a little cross that hung right there. And I don't know how much it is, but this one, $4.99. If you saw it, you really liked it, and you're like, oh, it's a little bit out of my budget, you can pretty much get the same look for just $4.99. So, bargain. So we have yet again, oh, two things there. We have yet again another staple piece, and that is your long black skirt. You cannot go wrong with a plain black maxi skirt. Have one, have two, have three, so that while the other two are dirty, you can always have one in rotation. I don't know if it's a fold over waist or if it's a high waist. I'll find out when I try it on. And, oh, bodysuit. So this one still had the tags on, and as a bodysuit, it's helpful because even though you wash these anyway, you don't want to come home and have a look in the crotch and be like, plain tank top bodysuit, really versatile, can't go wrong, can wear it with pretty much anything. And this one cost me, why is it $8.99? You know what? Probably because it was Forever 21. So since it was Forever 21, they marked it up. And that is the entire haul. Oh, wait. Oh, the clips. The clips I was talking about are in the bag. So really quickly, I want to show you. So as you can see, it has these little clips here that you would find on suspenders. Open them. There we go. See? You would take the fabric, and then you'd cinch it in the back, and then clip these to it. And then just close them, and then it pulls everything in. This is the one I went with. Just a regular little flower, but yeah, super useful. The way they were kind of marketing it as well is collar clips. Did you ever see those? I'm not really into that whole look, but if you are, you can use it for either here or in the back, but I like the functionality of it where you can cinch in something that is a little bit too loose and cinch it in and make it fit you a little bit more snug. So that is the haul, and I'm going to get to trying it on now. See you in a minute. Be sure to check the description because I'm going to include as many links as humanly possible to a lot of the things that you see, including the accessories. For example, that incredible layered chain cross belt that I came across on Depop. When I bought it, I thought that I was buying someone's belt that already existed in the world. But no, she's an individual seller, creator, artist, and she makes these things by hand. Right after I purchased, she was in my inbox asking for my measurements. So this was being made for me custom, and it was super fast too. Considering that it was custom made, I was super surprised at how fast it came. So by all means, check her out. She's fantastic, and I hope that you enjoyed.